Hi guys, welcome back. It's LSP. It's currently the 6th of January 2020. Just want to start the video by saying I hope everybody had a great Christmas and a good New Year, and I wish everybody all the best for the coming year. I suppose it's that time of the year, when everybody makes resolutions and kind of has a new lease on life, and that lasts for a couple of weeks, and then everybody kind of falls back into their old routines with the hope that this year will be different, and I do hope that that is the case for everybody, and I genuinely wish everybody all the best. If you do have goals, you do have things that you want to achieve this year, then just go for it, man. I mean, it's not like time goes by very quickly, and we know this. So try and make the most of every day, I guess. And when shit gets you down, just keep grinding it. So it's been a while since I've done an update on the EURJPY. Now, before I continue, I'm going to be doing a few videos over the course of the next couple of days. One of them is going to be on building small accounts. I did make a reference to this on the Forex Factory thread. What I've found over the years, and this is something that I feel needs to be addressed, because there's a lot of people out there that do struggle with this, but what I've found over the years is the issue of small accounts is addressed, but it's addressed in quite a blasé way, or it's dismissed, or the information that's given isn't useful. I'm sure many of you have heard things like, save your change, put it in a jar, take 10% of your wages, or your pay at the end of each month, and pay yourself first, and lots of different things like this. And although these things are, it's good advice, many of us don't really follow through on these things, simply because, one, we're not conditioned to, and two, we have negative mindsets. Things get us down. We're challenged by the daily things in life, or things in our daily lives, and one of the biggest challenges above all is lack of money. When you have very little money, debt coming out your arsehole, you're struggling to make ends meet, and you're living literally day by day, how can you then, with that type of mindset, put some change away? I'm sure, again, many of you have experienced, I know I personally have over the years, and in the past, experienced, having a little bit of change, you put it in a jar, a little bit of change, you put it in a jar, okay, and then something comes up, some shit goes wrong, and you have to take the money from the jar and use it on whatever it needs to be used on, and it slowly starts to wear you down. And when this happens to you, you start to get frustrated. The self-help mentality kicks in, so you start looking for self-help books, you start looking for, you start going through YouTube videos to get advice, how this and how that, and you go around in circles. So I'm going to be addressing a lot of those issues, and I'm going to give you guys some ideas, on how to build a small account when you're learning to trade, or if you're already trading, how to increase your account, and so on and so on, and all of it, or at least all of the ideas that I will present to you do work, but more importantly are not dependent on whether you can trade or not, are not dependent on whether you are a profitable trader or not. Meaning, if you're new to trading and you're learning to trade, doing what I'm going to suggest that you do, will help you build some money, so when the time does come, you'll be in a stronger position. And if you do already trade, and you do have a consistently profitable trading system, then it's all the better. All right. So with all of that said, there will be some educational stuff as well, and whatnot. I am one of my aims this year is to be very active online and try and post as much content as I possibly can. I will say now as well that I will be doing some plugs here and there for the Patreon service, because I am trying to build that Patreon service as well. There's a lot of things that I want to share with people, in the hopes that they become much more profitable, and I did mention this over at Patreon. I'll tell you guys as well, my ultimate goal this year, if I can pull it off, and I'm really hoping that I can, I'd like to get a bunch of traders together maybe we rent out some hall or a hotel or something. I don't know. I'll work out the logistics when the time comes. Later this year. And this is not a definite, but this is a goal of mine. This is something that I want to do. Hopefully, rent some space. Get some computers set up. Get a bunch of traders down there, and we all just have a great time. Eat some good food, do some live trading, and just enjoy each other's company and learn from each other. So we'll see how that kind of goes. And obviously, if I can get the Patreon service up and running the way I really want to, number one, it's going to allow me to do that, without putting too much of a strain on my own personal finances. Excuse me, but more importantly, I will have a group of traders that are already part of the group anyway, and then we can get together and do what I just said. Sorry, excuse me. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to be plugging in the Patreon from time to time. And I do want to, to increase traffic to, my YouTube channel. These are all things that are just normal. Most people, I guess, don't talk about these things, but the reality is, I've got a YouTube channel, I've got the Patreon service, I've got the Forex Factory thread, and these are all, ways that I can kind of present my material, my information, and in the hopes that I'm going to help people, but also, to increase the awareness, of what I'm trying to accomplish in my own personal life and with, my business model. All right, so I like to be as transparent as I possibly can. I never want anybody to feel, that this is some sort of, oh God, here he goes again, I wish he'd shut up. It's not like that, and I'm sure you guys know that by now. I offer of my time, freely, to anybody that emails me or gets in touch with me or comments, somewhere where I can see it. I've always been, forthcoming with my time and my experience, So, again, with all of that said, let's get cracking on EURJPY. It's been a while. If you remember, this is a fresh chart, but if you remember going back to the weekly down here, we were saying at the time, some levels down here, and if I just go over to the monthly for a second, it was this level here, which would have been the 114.85 level, and I still do believe that this is in play, but as I said, it's going to take a very long time for price to get down there. Now, when I first started doing the study on EURJPY, price was relatively close compared to where it's at now. Price was relatively close to the 114.85, and obviously it's been grinding higher, and it's in an area where we should start to see a little bit of ease off. Okay, and you can see that started to happen. Now what we want to see, ideally, remember this is the monthly, so this may take time to unfold. And what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and pick off a moment somewhere up in this area. Range wise, I'd say about here. Basically, you can see the line just showing up there. Look, but basically where that line is to about here. This area right here is where I'm looking to basically take a short, and I'm going to be holding hopefully to the 114.85 level, assuming obviously that everything pans out that way. Right, so in the meantime, the overall bias for me is still lower. I do want to see lower prices. We do have, and this is something that I'm going to make a reference to right now, we do have an area up here where price may want to go to first. Now, if price does come up here, this is going to be a very interesting study if price comes up to take out, and I'll put it on this high here. Price does come up here to take out the 123.35 level. All right, so if we drop down to the weekly and see what that looks like, that would be very interesting. If price does rip up here, and then we'll kind of monitor what price does up in this area. As far as right now, if price does that first, then we can start to look at higher prices, in terms of a better entry for the overall objective of 114.85. Okay, that's very important. I'm not looking to go long on EURJPY. I never have been. Okay, it's a time-related thing. We're dealing with such higher time frames, it's going to take a while for this stuff to unfold. Okay, and I've always had that in mind, and I'm very, very patient with these things, so I've got no issues because it allows me to do videos. We can watch live price, we can monitor price as it's moving along, and so on and so on and so on, and obviously learn from that as well. But if price does that, then great, we get a better entry. If price doesn't, and it continues to, and it starts to drop and starts to kind of grind lower, all the better. okay, because the lower it goes, if it starts to kind of grind and it starts to come down towards this area down here, all right, then we can start to look at maybe this being a potential stop run, okay, or a fulfillment of an objective where price is coming up, it's working off some orders, it's doing whatever it needs to do, and then it kind of eases up and starts to drive lower. But I would like to see some increase now. I'd like to see some rejection up in this area, because right now the way price is looking, it's looking like it wants to pop to the 123.35. Okay, so as it stands, if I'm going to be looking to do anything, it has to be in the lower section, like I said, or the upper section up here, right? In the meantime, while we're waiting for one or the other to happen, okay, right now we've had a really nice drop down here. We've left open liquidity down here, that's fine. Had a nice reversal, so this bar's been negated completely, or this candle right here has been, negated completely. We've started a fresh day now, so I'm expecting a little bit of a high prices, but because of the way price is with such a large open liquidity pool here, okay, the imbalances over here are irrelevant right now, but because there's such a large open liquidity here, and we are getting a little bit of strength coming into the euro, and a little bit of weakness coming in on the Japanese yen, or flat Japanese yen at the moment, at the start of the year, we may get a kind of a bit of a grind higher and then an easing off and a drop lower, okay, but as it stands right now, when you look at this, it could go either way, so it's very important to just take a step back and just be patient. We do have some highs up here that may get taken first, and it may not want to go to the 123.35, because when we're dropping between time frames weekly and daily, we can see slightly different things. So in this instance, we are going to be using the daily as a confirmation of a high time frame bias. So we're going to drop down to the 4 hour, kind of get a better feel for the structure of what's happening. And again, when you look at the 4 hour here, there's more evidence to suggest that we may be coming down to at least here, all of this area down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a note of this area down here. Okay, it's quite interesting area down here. All right, so we'll pop that there like so. Okay, and we'll do the scroll again just to make sure that's correct. But then if we pop back up to the daily, again, I'd like to see this get negated. If price comes down here now and negates all of this, that's perfect. That's just what we want to see, yeah? So that's pretty much everything on EURJPY as it stands at the moment. As it stands at the moment. We don't need to drop any lower than a 4 hour chart. Everything that we need to see is on the weekly, daily, and 4 hour. So I'll leave it at that. I'll let you guys pop the levels on your charts, and obviously keep an open study on EURJPY, and then I'll continue to do things as we progress. And that's it, guys. So like I said, at the beginning of the video, I hope everyone's had a great holiday or a festive period, Christmas, New Year, etc. I wish everybody the best for the new year. Lots of videos to come. The one thing that I will ask, and I would, I don't want to insist, but I would appreciate if you guys would give me some feedback. The comments are deliberately turned off on the videos, so nobody can comment on the videos, and that's literally for one reason. I don't want people, talking to me about, things of a particular nature that I just simply don't want to talk about, okay? Because I've been getting a lot of emails from people that were part of the ICT membership, and I've got no interest in getting involved in any of that stuff at all. If somebody reaches out to me and they genuinely, want help, or they want to talk about things, in their own personal trading, no problem. Anything that's ICT related is completely off limits. I've got no interest in talking about it. To be honest, I don't even think about it, and then I'll open up my emails and boom, somebody's asking some retarded question that's absolutely ridiculous and has nothing to do with trading. I don't know Michael. I've got nothing to do with Michael. I've always wished him all the best, just like I wish everybody all the best. Please, if you're watching this video, don't ask me about ICT material or ICT or Michael. I don't want to know. Okay, like I said, I really genuinely do wish him all the best, and it's nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me at all. Okay, and I'm certainly not going to be giving away, anything, of his material. So please, again, don't ask. But I would ask, that you share the video, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, because it does help. Like the video, or give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whichever you prefer. I don't want people to to do something. I'm not asking you guys to give me a thumbs up if you don't want to give me a thumbs up. I'm just asking that you do it if you want to. And either way, I appreciate the fact that you're watching the video in the first place. And again, give me feedback. My email address is always available. info@lsptrading.co.uk. You're all more than welcome to email me, no problem. I've got the Forex Factory thread, so if anybody wants to ask any questions over there, again, you're more than welcome. But I would like to interact and and start to get to know some of the traders that are involved in watching these videos and learning from these from these videos. So again, I'll leave it at that, guys. And I hope everybody has a great week. I'll do my best to get the video done tomorrow regarding the small accounts and saving money and building money and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to do my best to get that done tomorrow, and I will let you know when that's posted. And in the meantime, I wish you all the best, and I will speak to you tomorrow. Take care.